Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. And today we have with us Anjali, Chugh, who is the founder of Cosmique Global Incorporated. Welcome to the program, Anjali.
Hi, Mike. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just love getting to know different businesses and what drives them and what motivates them. And give us a little bit of background of yourself and then what led you to start Cosmique Global.
It's a little interesting. There was a time when I used to network a lot, participate in mentoring meetups. I would see these young and not so young business owners trying to get help from wherever they could, for increasing their clientele and generating more revenue. I could see the challenges they face either due to the lack of knowledge, resources, or manpower. As it is, I was offering them guidance and whatever help I could as an individual freelancer. But then one day someone suggested to me that I should go about this in a more structured way. And that was the moment, believe me, it hit me that I should be opening up a company. And that's when I thought of incorporating this company, Cosmique Global. And I wanted to make it one-stop shop for business solutions just to help these business owners. So, let me see, it's been almost 5 years since then, and I can say 5 years of incredible learning opportunities, meeting wonderful people, and at the same time, it's been a period of unspeakable and unimaginable challenges.
Sure.
And of great achievements and rewards as well. So that's the story.
Well, it reminds me of just anybody that starts their own business. They think it's going to be all wonderful, and then you hit some roadblocks. And have you ever seen that graphic of, it's kind of a funny picture, but one side of the graphic says, here's what most entrepreneurs think their entrepreneurial journey will be. And it starts with this little line that goes from one side of the screen to the top right where it's success. No, just a straight line. And then the next side of the picture says, here's what it's really like in the entrepreneurial journey. And it's all these curves and squigglies. And then you finally get to success, but people don't realize that it's a lot to bite off. And I love your point about one-stop shop. So tell me a little bit about what that means, and I know that you realized that your clients needed that, but what is the one-stop shop, and how does that benefit your clients?
Yes, of course. Essentially, we Cosmique Global, we offer a complete business building package to our clients. That could include company incorporation, business branding, trademark registration. It could also go on to setting up e-commerce sites if they are into product selling, resourcing, and procurement of products. This one is especially for those in the wholesale and retail industry. And then we also provide website and mobile app development services. And am I forgetting something? Yeah, of course, business and sale purchase as well. So if you have a business, it's not going well, you want to sell it off and you're not finding a buyer, or if you're looking for a new business to purchase, so we're there to help. So honestly, I would say it includes all the components of a business solution provider company, so whatever a growing business would need. So here, under this banner, we work with small businesses, essentially startups. I try to focus on startups, businesses that are a few months to 5-year-old. I call them startups. I see that they still, even in their, even if they are in their 4th or 5th year, I see them struggling to achieve the most coveted milestones in the business world. Everybody wants growth, sustenance, and expansion. and that's what everybody is looking for. So we provide them with the resources they need to achieve these milestones. So from my experience, I would say, Mike, 80% of our clients have no clue about the type of services that can catapult their business to the next level. For instance, most of the small business owners that I meet with have very little knowledge about the digital world. They come to us totally oblivious of the fact that they are losing on a big chunk of business in absence of an effective online presence. So we help them with online as well as offline business promotion campaigns, whether it's developing a website or a mobile app, building an e-commerce platform like an Amazon or eBay store, trademarking their brand, which, by the way, I feel is the most important component of branding, or creating distribution channels for their products and services. We use all possible resources for their brand promotion, and that kind of increases the customer base for them. So this is, in short, what we do. And I think you could ask me, how do we assess what a company needs? So it's kind of sometimes the tricky part is assessing their need because they don't know what they need. So
yes.
so many times I meet these people. They have a dream to take their business to that level. It's some target that they have in their mind, but they have no idea how to get there. So what we do, we just make it very simple for them. It starts with a preliminary discussion with the owner or a designated representative of the company. So during this discussion, we try to get as much information as possible about their business, about the vision, their dreams, their future goals. So generally, they all have the same goals, believe me. Everybody wants to generate more revenue, get more clients, popularize their brand, be famous, reach out to more clients. This is generally what their goals are. So besides all of them, they want the services to be cost effective. Now, most of the times, we're the ones who help them in narrowing down the target audience for their products. We do need to explain, in most cases, to them that advertising campaign needs to be built to appeal to a certain audience and not to the general public. So based on that initial conversation, we come up with a business building strategy for them. I definitely, this is, I'm reminded of something. Let me see, some campaigns, for instance, are built especially for young moms or for children, for growing children, or let's say the older generation. Recently, I spoke to someone who owned a board game cafe I think it was in Pennsylvania, and they wanted like any other business owner to generate more revenue, so all that stuff. So the first thing I asked them, who is your target customer? What is the age group? Their preferences as to outdoor activities or food choices. So all this data is relevant for a restaurant, a cafe, or a board game type of a place. You have to know what segment of people would this appeal to. What channels of advertising would be helpful for this kind of business. It could be online or offline or a combination of both. Again, as an example, let me give you a very simple example. If you're catering to the older generation, online promotions might not be of much use to you. Why? Because your customers do not spend time online. Even if they do, most of them wouldn't be active on social media pages. So in this case, social media campaigns won't be of any help. You'll just end up losing money. For this type of business, if you're catering to the older generation, offline advertising, the old school way, distribution of flyers, spreading word in the neighborhood, in your community, I think it would bring better results. So you need to decide which way to go, which advertising channel to use, considering the nature of your business. This is very important. This is the catchword, the nature of your business. You don't have to be all over the internet just because everyone is doing that nowadays. It doesn't work that way. And like in some cases, from top of my head, only certain types of social media campaigns can be helpful. For example, if it's a restaurant, I'd normally recommend Facebook, Instagram, because of the tempting, attractive pictures of food that you will be sharing with people. It catches attention. People like to see this stuff. And this is apart from a great website that you must have, and listings on Google, Foursquare, and Yelp, so that people can find your business location easily. So again, long story short, depending on what your business is, you must choose your advertising platform very carefully. You don't have to be all over the place.
Yeah, I really agree with that. You said quite a bit there about knowing your target audience and researching, and you offer a variety of services to business owners. What do you think, which one would be most important for business growth and sustainability? Where should someone start?
I personally recommend the first step is getting your brand registered. Believe me, that's the first thing you must do. It doesn't matter if you're into products, if you're into services, it doesn't matter at all. If a business already owns a brand, the brand, I would say the first thing to owning a brand is having a logo in the least. That's how the journey starts. When you conceive an idea, what you're going to do, and what you're going to call your product, by what brand it is going to be known in the market, how are people going to recognize your brand. So you need a logo. You need a name of the product, the name of the brand. So the logo, the designing of the logo, creating a logo, conceiving the design of a logo is the first step. Now, if you already have that, we register that brand with the United States Patent and Trademark Office after taking the necessary input from the owner. If it's a new business, then the process starts, like I said, with designing the logo. And the logo, what I always tell people, it should truly reflect the essence of your business. It should not just be a combination of letters or some images that you like. It doesn't have to be. It should truly reflect what your business is all about. So that logo eventually becomes the brand of your company. Your question, where to start? So this is the first step of branding your business, getting the trademark registered. And the way we do it, it's not a very complicated application, so to say. It usually runs into a few pages. I'm just adding a little bit of information here just so that your audience knows, what they are getting into. So, and the information needed from the client covers all aspects of the business, ranging from the date of using the brand in commerce, you should have that on record, to submitting a logo and a specimen, along with the details of the incorporated entity and the owner. The person filing the trademark application needs to be well conversant with the trademark law. The filing process, it starts with a thorough search of a brand name availability in the trademark database and identifying the class under which the products or services need to be filed. This is where a business owner gets confused if he's doing it himself on his own. Even the slightest mistake in any of the stages of filing process can lead to the denial of the application. And then once it is refused, once it's denied, then it becomes a little complicated to reinstate the application. That's why I always advise people to hire a consultant or an attorney who has sufficient experience in handling trademark registration. It usually takes about 12 to 18 months to get the final registration certificate in their premises. It's usually mailed out to them. So that's the first step. And then once they have this, then definitely the next step is promoting the business, how to promote, which channel to use for advertising, whether it's online or offline, or like I said, if it's a combination of both. But even then, I would always suggest take guidance, take help from people who have already done it, who have already walked this path. So it's better because you kind of save time like this. Otherwise, because the experienced people, even if they don't help much, they will be able to tell you what the pitfalls are. You don't want to be wasting time and walking the wrong path and then going about it the wrong way. Why waste time and money? So take help, take advice before, treading into this new terrain. That's what I call it, a new terrain.
Yeah, exactly. And I know for me, I've tried that trademark process and gotten stumbled along the way. And so I know that having someone that's the expert in guiding you along and just doing it the right way the first time is a big, big help. So I would like to see just your final thoughts here on, I know that business owners love the concept of one-stop shop and everything from the registering the trademark at the beginning to growing your business using some specific marketing techniques. What type of affordability are your packages? You definitely would be able to say, well, typically our packages would appeal to businesses of this size or this revenue size.
Oh, yeah, they are very affordable. Like I said, I wouldn't say we only cater to, but yeah, we try to confine ourselves to startups. That's a personal choice I made when I started this company. So if it is for the startups, so definitely it is affordable. I won't go into the numbers here on the radio show, but all I can say is something about like trademark registration. People usually shy away from trademark registration because it is very, very expensive. Normally it's expensive if you go to an attorney. So I would say if you go to an experienced consultant or an advisor, even then it would be probably like 3/4 of the cost. But what we charge them, believe it or not, it's just about 1/5 or 1/6 of the total cost what anybody would charge. So it is affordable. And then sometimes we do give them payment plan options as well, but not in many cases. So just don't hold me for that. Yeah. But yes, sometimes we do on case-to-case basis. So it is very affordable, especially for a startup. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, I think that's just really good to know because sometimes people just think, well, I'm going to try it on my own. And if you try it on your own and mess it up, then you may as well just hired someone and had it done right the first time, right off the bat. So I really agree with that and I really appreciate you coming on the show today. Let's wrap up with telling people how can they reach out and connect with you and your company.
Thank you so much. And then one last thing before we close, I would definitely like to tell people who are listening in, running a business and promoting it are essentially two different things. For any business to succeed, it's important that you have two separate teams taking care of these significantly different areas. Don't try to do everything yourself. I totally understand the core problem that a new business faces is the lack of financial resources, but small business owners usually do not feel comfortable with spending money on business branding, things like this, which is why they try to do everything themselves, but eventually realize that it's not going to work that way. Delegating work is important because there's only so much you can do during the day, which you can accomplish during the day, but when you run a business. So I always advise people, please give it to two different teams, delegate work. You can't do it yourself all on your own.
I agree. That really does make sense. So what is your website?
It's cosmiqueglobal.com. You can spell that out if you want, COSMIQUEGLOBAL.com. And there we have all the services listed. Any help you want, we're there 24/7. Just email us, call us. We're at your service.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It was really wonderful getting to know you.
Thank you so much, Mike. And
You're
this
welcome.
Is an excellent opportunity. Thank you.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.